Now, joining us to discuss the protest is host of the Nick Cannon Morning Show and, of course, pop culture influencer in our family, Nick Cannon, and Hawk Newsome of the Black Lives Matter, Greater New York. Yep. Welcome to the Black Report. Thank you guys so much.
I'm a pop culture influencer.
Amen. You're an influencer globally.
All right, you are, brother.
Now, Nick, can you tell us why you decided to go and protest?
My brother Hawk here is someone that I've known for years, and I'll say, before we get to what happened recently in these past few days, years ago, I was walking through the streets of New York, and I saw a brother on a bullhorn with thousands of people behind him. And I was like, whatever he's doing, I got to be a part of it. And this was, the first time we were screaming, "I can't breathe," for Eric Garner. And I jumped out there in the middle of the protests, and from that day forth, we've been rocking and kind of, taking over the nation not in that sense of where, we're trying to go be a part of something.
Right.
And even like where, everybody's come up with this new pop culture term of clout chasing. It's like, well, this is the type of clout I want to chase. I want to chase the clout for my people. So since that day forward, we clout chasing all over the country. We clout chasing for our people and holding law enforcement accountable, holding government accountable. And this brother has everything for, he been working, he was going to law school, he was doing all type of stuff. So to have a brother of his size, and the power of his voice and his power to organize and to know the law, he is a gem. And from that forth, from whether it's the Black Lives Matter New York to, the things that we're working on right now, man, I support everything he's been doing. So to answer that in a short way, Hawk made me do it.
Now, thank you so much, Hawk.
Nick, what are some of the misconceptions going around in the media about the protesters?
Obviously we know that the protest, there's been this interesting conversation between protesters and agitators. And we've allowed the media to say, well, there's this and then there's that. I don't even want to have that conversation, because there's one common ground when it comes to protesters, agitators, and the reason that we're all out there. It's law enforcement. Correct. I'm not getting upset by how I see the agitators treating things. Yes, they setting stuff on fire, they looting, all of that stuff. We can rebuild that stuff. You cannot rebuild a human life. Wow. So the reason that I'm upset, I don't care. Y'all can have that conversation about property being destroyed all you want.
Right.
Boo-hoo. Yeah. We'll figure that out. But stop killing people.
Yes.
Like, let's start there, because I haven't seen an agitator kill somebody. I've seen police officers kill people.
Yeah.
And that's why we got out there. That's why we're still out there. Yep. So I don't want to have these conversations about, are they the protesters or the agitators? No, the law enforcement is the problem. The problem I have when I turn on the news is police cars running hundreds of people over. Police cars pepper spraying children. I don't see agitators doing that. So I think, again, we've allowed the media to switch these conversations and divide us again to be like, well, who are the protesters and who are the agitators?
Right.
Bump all that. The law enforcement is the problem. And that's that, again, like that. I just want to focus everybody. We always get distracted.
Yeah, we do.
And thinking about, there's confusion going on out there. The one thing that's not confusion is that law enforcement is mistreating us.
They are, Nick. And speaking of which, have you ever been pulled over or subject to police misconduct? Same question to you, Hawk.
All the time, but of course.
I just want to backtrack a little bit to talk about how Nick has been on the front lines with us in a lot of ways. Like when we went out to Charlottesville to face off with white supremacists, to protect the protesters. Most protesters who come out are peaceful, loving people. What other person is going to go and put their life at risk for another? The Bible says, what greater love can one have than to lay down one's life for his brother or his sister? Protesters are out there putting their lives on the line for their brothers and their sisters, right? So we needed to get down there. I hit up Nick, like, I got you. Right? We're in high schools in New York teaching children their right, teaching children how to organize, media, logistics, how to keep marchers safe. How do you formulate a message? Nick is helping us with that. He's funding that. I mean, sweatshirts and just so much just preparing young leaders for tomorrow. Any one of those kids we work with can go to college and see an issue now and mobilize. Some of those kids are mobilizing in New York right now. But what you were asking about protesters and agitators. Okay, so you had peaceful protests for the last 5 years. Right? Maybe 1% of those marches were violent, and justice has been delayed. So you mean to tell me folks light a few buildings on fire, and now Keisha Bottoms and the police chief can fire people immediately instead of giving us a runaround about due process? Right? People start lighting buildings on fire, and all of a sudden this officer is charged with murder in the 3rd degree and manslaughter. So he's really looking at 10 to 12 years instead of 25 to life. Right? So, but think about what America is reinforcing. America is reinforcing the notion of, if you go outside and you be unpeaceful, we will respect you and respond. And if you want to talk about policing, who are the police empowered by? This government. From day one, the American government told us that black people were less than, right? And black people need to, the 3/5, that's the original sin. And that black people need to stay in their place. Who's in our communities keeping us in our place?
Yeah, and then Malcolm X said it the best. I mean, the only language America knows and understands and is fluent in is violence. So for us to act as our forefathers have shown us, what do you expect? And then to actually see things moving because of this. So therefore now it has to say, all right, we got everybody's attention. What's next? And that's even one of the reasons why we've been here and we're discussing, because we do have a plan. We do have solutions. And, you know, we've been screaming Black Lives Matter for years, which is great. But now it's time for action in a real way. And now it's about black opportunities.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
And we're creating black opportunities. We call it the Black Ops.
The Black Ops.
And it's truly our own department in that sense of protection, of security. And we, in the same way that the Nation of Islam and the Panthers have their 12 and 10-point program, we've created a 10-point program as well, and really offering to that next generation the opportunity to take pride in their blackness and their safety and all that they are, and really be, you know, figures in the community that can stand firm and protect us against the police.
I think that's beautiful.
I do too, man. Now, I got to ask you this. How significant of a role do you think celebrities can play in changing the American criminal justice system?
Oh, man. To me, y'all know me. We know each other. Like, we see each other daily. I don't consider myself a celebrity, so, and I'm going to keep it a second. I don't care what celebrities do.
Oh, come on, brother. Come on. Can I jump in there?
Jump in there,
I don't care. Like, I'm
got
not
the hawk.
Here it is, right? If people are waiting for help, they should turn around and look in the mirror.
Right.
Okay. They are the help that they've been waiting for.
There it is.
This man does not move like a celebrity. Okay. There are celebrities who will go and stand in front of cameras, in front of pretty places, and give a speech about injustice. Nick Cannon went to the scene of where our dear brother George Floyd was murdered and stood there, and we held a rally there in support of the people of Minnesota, not to take over, but to say, hey,
we sat there, we prayed with them, we kneeled down, we cried, we held, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even in the midst of all this. And I don't do what I do for attention. Y'all know me.
We know
I don't like doing interviews. I like interviewing people, but I don't like getting out there grandstanding.
But Nick, I feel like it's important. It was important for you to go down there because those people at that moment, they needed to be loved on.
Facts.
They needed to be loved on.
Facts.
And you did just that.
Right.
And that's the thing. I feel like that's our duty as members of the community. And that's when I always say, like, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a member of the community. And
yes, you are.
Whatever I can do, whether it's, you know, financially or even shedding that light on things that may have been in the dark for some time, I understand the importance of that. And I feel like that's my civil duty. But for others, I'm not mad at any celebrities. Keep entertaining us.
Right.
Be entertainers, because what does bother me is when I hear these celebrities speak out and the messaging is incorrect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what bothers me, because it's like, no, let me be a fan of you. I don't want to hear about the things that you think you know. And even that's why I went back to school, because I didn't want to be a celebrity that's just chiming off. And even if you see me, I kind of fall back. I let brothers like this speak, because I don't want to get out there, and because people are going to attack the celebrity.
They are.
Before they attack somebody who's really about it. So to me, like, a celebrity is a bad word. Right? I'd rather be a member of the community. I'd rather be an activist. I'd rather be somebody who's really trying to enforce change, because celebrity is to celebrate one. And I don't want to be celebrated right now. I got too much work to do.